What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you are new to the channel, I am Gold Pony. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today we are in the brand new 2024 Volvo V90 Cross Country, courtesy of Younger Volvo in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So today we are in this one because there is a new color for the 2024 model year. Not the hugest deal there, but this is an incredible looking wagon in my personal opinion, and there's very few wagons that still remain here, at least in the US. So ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so as you can imagine, there are a couple different trim levels. There's only two for the 2024 V90. First one is going to be the Plus, starting at $60,245. The other one being the Ultimate, and the one we have today starting at $65,845. But regardless of trim level that you go with, the power plant is going to be the same. Powering the V90 is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with a mild hybrid system, putting out 295 horsepower at 5,400 RPM, 310 pound-feet of torque coming in at 2,100 RPM. That power being sent to all four wheels through an 8-speed automatic. 0 to 60 time coming in at approximately 6.1 seconds. That's plenty respectable there, with MPG numbers coming in at 22 in the city, 29 on the highway, taking premium unleaded fuel. And so before we do any kind of fun acceleration tests here in our V90, wanted to mention to you guys there are a couple different drive modes that can be accessed through the infotainment screen. But if you were to go to that infotainment screen, you got an off-road drive mode, so that's kind of convenient there. And there's also a steering feel firm mode is what it is called specifically. Basically tightens up that steering feel, more of a sports sedan. If you don't press it, it's going to feel more like an SUV, basically a looser steering feel. So we'll get more into that a little bit later. But now having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put the V90 here to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2024 Volvo V90 here up to speed. All right, guys, in 3, 2, 1, go. Instant acceleration, even with the turbocharger, because of the mild hybrid system. I love that. This is quick, man. This is plenty quick. You're not gonna have any issues in merging onto the highway. And again, a lot of times with turbocharged 4-cylinders, what you get is a heck of a lot of turbo lag, but I've said this in my other videos before, because Volvo includes a mild hybrid system with their engines, there's no turbo lag. There's instant acceleration, and it does, of course, assist with a little better MPGs as well. But because of that, you do have that instant acceleration, which is wonderful. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. And so, as expected, you will find 4-wheel ventilated disc brakes coming standard. As far as that 60-0 stopping distance goes, that's going to come in an extremely respectable 116 feet. Anything in the 1-teens is sports sedan good. I've said that before, my last 700 plus reviews. Anything in the 120s is kind of typical sedans, and then there's 130s actually as well. So 116 feet is excellent. As far as braking feel goes, let's go ahead and hit the brakes here. Wow, that is brilliant, man. That isn't always the case in all Volvos, but with the V90, the braking feel is definitely on the firm side. It does instantly bring you to a stop. So wonderful braking feel on the V90 Volvo. You did an excellent job with that. Then touching on suspension and handling, up front you're going to get a double wishbone type front suspension. In the back, integral link rear suspension. As far as ride quality goes, it's been perfect in my short little test drive here today. I will say Hagerstown has some dang good roads, perfectly paved, but nonetheless, I will say ride quality has been perfectly fine. As far as steering feel goes, like I mentioned at the kind of the beginning of the video with the drive modes, you can adjust it through the infotainment screen. You go into settings actually, and there is a steering feel firm mode, and that does increase the weight pretty substantially. So it gives you a much heavier feel to the steering, better points you in the direction that you want to go. It really does feel more like a sports sedan. If you turn that off, you're back to the normal loosey-goosey mode, which is fine for a lot of people. It basically feels like your traditional SUV, more or less. So it's got something for everyone, I guess you could say. So I love the steering feel in that firm mode, I'll put it that way. As far as cabin noise goes, this is a good example. We're going 52 miles per hour right now. I'll let you guys be the judge through the road mic. Honestly, isn't that bad for me, so it's a pretty darn serene cabin in my personal opinion. Touching on visibility, I can see perfectly fine out the back. Excellent visibility. If if you're asking me. You can see fine out the rear view mirror there. Rain sensing windshield wipers, though, in terms of forward visibility, actually do come standard on the V90. So whenever the V90 detects any kind of mist or rainfall, it's going to automatically turn on those windshield wipers for you there. So just one less thing you got to worry about, kind of like automatic headlights. So I love that feature as well. And if you were to go with that ultimate trim level like we have today, I am looking at a head-up display projected onto my windshield. It's giving me my speed limit, and of course safety features as well. So it's going to better help keep your eyes on the road and assisting with forward visibility yet again. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2024 Volvo V90 Cross Country. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2024 Volvo V90 Cross Country, finished in denim blue. In case you were curious of our exact exterior color name, it almost doesn't even look blue. It looks more like a blue-gray, honestly, in real life. But anyways, there is a new color for the 2024 V90, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. That is Vapor Gray Metallic, and that Vapor Gray is kind of a new color across the board from what I've been noticing in my reviews of Volvos lately. So anyways, that is pretty cool. And there are two colors that have been removed. That's Thunder Gray Metallic and Blackstone, in case you were curious. But as always, let's go ahead and start with where the V90 is actually made. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the letter Y, indicating that the Volvo V90 is built and assembled in Sweden. The actual name of the city is on the window sticker. I can't pronounce it, so I'm not even going to try. But anyways, let's go ahead and start up front. Full LED headlights do come standard, meaning both low beam and high beam, with LED daytime running lights, of course, in the typical Thor's hammer fashion. Get the automatic feature as well, along with automatic high beams, meaning if you have your high beams on at night and it senses the vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim that back to low beams. Then when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically then bounce it back up to high beams for you there. And if you were to look at ground clearance, since there is an off-road mode, you do actually get 8.3 inches of ground clearance, which is very respectable. Typically, I say if you want to do a little bit of light overlanding, anything over 8 inches is pretty decent. So 8.3 inches should definitely get the job done there. And I do like the LED fog lights just below those headlights as well. That definitely looks good, in my personal opinion. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the front end of the V90. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the side. All right, so now since we are around to the side of this one, roof rails, aluminum roof rails, I should say, do come standard for both trim levels. Black window surrounds do come standard as well. There will be body colored power adjustable side mirrors. They will have integrated turn signals, LED integrated turn signals. They will be heated, and you got the power folding feature as well. So when you lock it up, they're going to kind of fold in. When you unlock it, they're going to fold back out. So that's pretty cool. You do have the rear privacy glass that does come standard as well, as you typically get with wagons. So love that, just like an SUV. Then taking a look down at the wheel setup, you will find 19-inch diamond cut alloys as the standard configuration for both trim levels. But overall, love the side profile of a wagon. Definitely looks good. Now, let's go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, so but now since we are around to the back of the V90, body colored shark fin antenna all the way to the top. Just below that, rear spoiler with an integrated brake light. Just below that, rear window wiper, a pretty massive rear window wiper as well. So that's pretty cool. Got the Volvo lettering spelled out in chrome horizontally. That looks good. Of course, you get the LED tail lights that do come standard for added illumination at night. Love that. You got a little bit of cross country badging found on the rear bumper. I'm going to crawl out of the weeds here so I can show that to you guys. So it's cross country etched kind of into the matte black portion of the rear bumper there. And there is actually dual exhaust outlets tucked away. And I like that they don't try to kind of fake it and pretend like there are integrated exhausts like a lot of other brands do, like Volkswagen and Audi, for example. But definitely looks good back there. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. Is always here is that exhaust clip. All right, so now since we are around to the back of the V90, when it comes to opening that rear tailgate, it actually is a hands-free power tailgate. That does come standard for both trim levels, so you gotta love that. There's actually a rubberized button on the tailgate itself. There's a button on the key fob as well. But anyways, once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 19.8 cubic feet. With that second row folded down, that bumps that up to an even 69 cubic feet, so quite a bit of space then with the second row folded down. There are some tie-down anchors back there. They're chrome plated as well, so a little bit fancier than you traditionally find. There are 4 grocery bag hooks. Typically you find 1 or 2 in SUVs, but you got 4 here in the V90, so that's pretty cool. 12-volt power outlet, cargo cover as well. You do have a first aid kit in typical Volvo fashion. Lexus also does that, but yeah, Volvo also does that. That's pretty cool. And if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you will find a spare tire under the cargo floor, and there was a nice convenient hook to actually keep that cargo floor up if you were to need to access that spare tire. So was a big fan of that as well. So then making our way to the rear legroom, that comes in at 35.9 inches. For reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had back there. There is rear ventilation for those rear passengers because actually 4-zone climate control comes standard on the V90. So both rear passengers can also set their own individual temperatures as well. So that is pretty cool. Dual phone charging ports, they're USB charging ports back there as well. And of course, I don't want to forget to mention, because we have the Ultimate with us here today, you also have rear window sunshades. So that's something you typically never find, or almost never find, in sedans and wagons, but always in a lot of times in SUVs. So I was definitely a big fan seeing the rear window sunshades back there. But then making our way up to the front seats, power adjustable front seats with memory settings do come standard. They will be heated as well. The Ultimate is going to add to that ventilated front seats and massaging front seats as well. So that is pretty cool that they're massaging. But overall, as far as seat comfort goes, not the very most comfortable seats I've ever tested, and that's because they are kind of they got a horizontal seams. Typically the vertical seams are super comfy, but I will say they're not bad. It's just they're not the most comfortable I've ever tested. But my favorite part about the seats, of course, is the flag of Sweden found on the passenger seat. But anyways, then making our way to the steering wheel, it is tilt and telescoping. It is leather wrapped as well. I like the 10-2 grips. It provides a nice little spot to kind of rest your thumb. I typically don't see that with other manufacturers. Then make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key here. You got your Volvo logo on the one side, but all of your buttons are actually located on the side of the key. So you got lock, unlock, the button to pop the rear tailgate there, but it is all keyless entry with a turn knob start. If you're not familiar with Volvo, this is going to be different for you, but all you need to do is simply put your foot on the brake, turn it to the right to start it, and then turn it to the right to stop it as well. Never turn it to the left. Anyways, then taking a look at the gauges, there is a 12-inch digital gauge cluster that does come standard, and I love it. Volvo does an amazing job with their gauges. Speedometer is on your left, tachometer is on your right. You got your speed limit indicator, outside temperature, how many miles you have left until you hit empty, and your navigation, which is provided by Google Maps front and center. So the very best mapping system in existence is found right on the digital gauges. So that is definitely going to help you with navigation and all that as well. So I love that. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. You got a panoramic moonroof that does come standard. It's one of the largest panoramic moonroofs that I've seen. It goes way into the back seat, so absolutely love that. Aluminum door sills do come standard as well. Definitely a fan of that. Tailored gear selector comes standard, but if you go with the Ultimate like we have today, you get a crystal gear selector by Orfors. Orfors is a Swedish crystal company, so a company in Sweden that actually makes crystal, including the crystal gear selector for the Volvo V90 and some other Volvos as well. So huge fan of this gear shifter. But anyways, wood trim does come standard. I love that. You can find that on the doors just above the passenger side glove box and kind of surrounding the shifter as well. Another cool thing I like in this Volvo is you got a lot of carpeting found by the driver's right knee, and it would be the passenger's left knee. But I love the carpeting. It's a very high-end feel to it, and you typically don't find that in other manufacturers as well. You do have a frameless rear view mirror with home controls, so up to 3 different garage doors just below it. I do also love the kind of touch interior LED lighting that we have with us here today. So all you need to simply do is just simply touch your finger on it. There's no actual button or anything like that. That's going to turn it on and off, and then to open and close the power moonroof, you slide your finger back to open it, you slide it forward to close it. So a pretty cool setup that Volvo has there. As far as the extra stuff goes, there's a little bit of storage just in front of the shifter. Just to the right of the shifter, you have 2 cup holders, a 12-volt power outlet, and then within the center armrest, decent amount of space, not a ton, but you do have a couple of USB charging ports within there as well. So overall, as far as overall interior quality goes, it's excellent. And I also love the aluminum speaker covers, these Harman Kardon speaker covers. And we'll test out the sound system in a little bit here, but they're very high end as well. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the infotainment screen here. here. And so you're going to find a 9-inch vertical color touchscreen display. Of course, you get Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, you get Bluetooth and audio streaming. Factory navigation system also coming standard. You can check out your climate control settings up there. Also your heated seat buttons, your ventilated seat buttons, heated steering wheel button, all that stuff can be found up there, along of course with your drive modes and your radio information. And so when it comes to the sound systems, there's 2 of them, obviously 1 for each trim level. The Plus trim is going to give you 10 speakers and 220 watts. The Ultimate trim that we have today is going to give you a 14 speaker Harman Kardon sound system with 600 watts, so 3 times the amount of wattage. So having said that, that is the one that we have today, like I mentioned. So let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. Alright, bass was amazing. Love the bass in that, no doubt about that. Clarity was dang good. Not the very best clarity that I've ever heard. Like, Volvo makes some Bowers and Wilkins sound systems in like their S90, for example. I think is amazing. This is nowhere close to that, but it's still dang good. I'll say that. The bass is good. Clarity is pretty darn good, but not as much as I expected. I'll just put it that way. But anyways, last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen is when you do put the V90 in reverse, I'm going to turn this off, you will find your rear view camera coming standard across the board. It's going to beep at you, obviously, if you get too close to some weeds behind you or something like that. But you do also get a 360-degree monitor as well, giving you that bird's eye view, which is always going to lead us into safety. So first, let me start by saying the obvious. IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus, which is the very highest designation given by IIHS. So yes, Volvo is still the very best when it comes to safety, without a doubt. Front side curtain airbags do come standard. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors to tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, road sign assist, giving you the speed limit, like I was saying, lane keep assist, oncoming lane mitigation, post-impact braking, adaptive cruise control, front and rear parking sensors, and a blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert. And so overall, when it comes to my final thoughts of the V90, I actually really like it because this is a very rare wagon from Sweden. It's not a vehicle that you're going to see left and right everywhere you're driving. It's very rare that you're probably going to find another one on the road like yourself. So anyways, that's pretty cool to me. Excellent safety as well. That's what Volvo is known for, of course. Pretty good driving dynamics. You got excellent braking on this thing, without a doubt. Plenty of acceleration and that steering feel firm mode. So you got the heavier weight to the steering if you wanted it. So good driving dynamics, like I said. Very good overall interior quality as well. As far as room for improvement goes, I didn't see a wireless phone charger, so would have loved to have seen that. And I think Volvo might be able to spruce it up with a little bit of ambient lighting as well, like BMW and Mercedes do, for example. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of the V90 in the comments section below. And that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media at the bottom of the screen. If you want to see what's coming next on the channel before it gets to YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews, because that is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.